Hey guys, and happy Friday! Yay! Today we're going to be diving into the October reading for 2022 for all water zodiac signs. So hello Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And maybe you're here because you want to gain a little bit of insight, a little bit of info for your Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer, Rising, Sun, and Moon friends. So anywho, if you don't know who I am Tara with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. You can learn a little bit more about me by checking out my website down below, kittensweightsandtarot.com. And maybe while you're there, you want to check out Desert Cauldron. We're over on Etsy. It's a shop that James from Light of Raga and I own, full of witchy items and tools that you can incorporate into your magical practice. Many of the items have been created by us, and some of the items have been created by our local artisans here in Arizona. But yeah, all my deets are down below: Patreon, YouTube membership, all of that good stuff. Definitely go check it out. And I do want to mention that my newsletter is coming out tomorrow. Tomorrow is October 1st. And I send a newsletter out on the 1st of every month. I don't play the spam game, so I don't just send any other emails out except for that first of the month with that newsletter. I just finished putting it together this evening, so I will make sure to send it out tomorrow morning. So if you are interested in receiving the newsletter, make sure that you sign up, and you can sign up through my website, or if you go down into the links down below, there's a link that takes you directly to the newsletter sign up. All right. As far as the shop goes, Kittens, Weights, and Tarot will be having a sale from September, October 10th through October 31st. So expect big deals and sales from 10 to 30% off in the shop. So that's readings and items and things like that. So definitely stay tuned for that. So that sale starts on the 10th. And then over on Desert Cauldron, we also will be having a sale from the 10th through the 31st. So make sure that you are checking out those shops during that time, or even before that time. Hey Sumi, how are you? Meow, she says. So all right, you guys. So like I said, we're going to be diving into what October 2022 has in store for our water signs. So before we get started, I'm going to cast an elemental circle. So I do like working with the elements and utilizing their energy just to make sure that my space is as clear as possible when I do these readings, so that nothing infringes upon our intuition or our ability to gain messages for our best and highest good. So just got to get this candle going. Sometimes these are a little finicky. All right, so I have this beautiful solar plexus candle. Since we do have the waning light, I thought I might, bust out some of my yellow, more sunny, solar plexus-y type colors. Hey Michelle, how are you? All right, so I'm utilizing the energy of fire, again, to burn away and clear away anything that need not be here for our reading. And then on that note, I'm going to bust out my little piece of Palo Santo here, and we're going to use that air energy to just blow away any negativity, any low vibrating energies. We don't need that here. So, all right, there we go, Palo Santo. Smells amaze balls. All right, and then I have a little bit of my moon water. Actually, it is my moon water, but it's also storm water. It's monsoon water from here in Arizona, and we're pretty much done with the monsoon season. That's all done skis. So here in the Phoenix Valley, it's still pretty warm, almost 100. But up in the mountains where we're moving to in October, it's already in the 70s and sometimes the 80s during the day up there. So it is freaking amazing. It is so nice. So anywho, this is all that's left over from our Phoenix Valley monsoons. So I'm going to use this water to just wash away, again, any negativity, any low vibes, anything that is not for our best and highest good at this time, and a little bit for myself because it feels so good. There we go. There we go, baby. All right, let's see. Oh, hey, Chuck is here. Hey, Charles, how are you? This is just saying hello. Dr. Jamie, hey, how are you? says good afternoon. Can't wait for the Earth sign live. Hoping there will be one. I'm new to the lives. Actually, you know what? Tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we will be having the Earth sign live chat. And then on Sunday, we will have the air sign. So we'll have our, on Sunday, our weekly reading at 10 a.m. and then at 7 p.m. we'll have the final Zodiac sign, which will be for all the air signs for the month of October. So stay tuned. Okay, so I brought a wand that we created for Desert Cauldron. Lily, hey everyone, she says, how are you? So this is actually created with elk bone. And this is a feather from one of our lovely doves that we have here in this area. This is a little shell that I collected back from my hometown in San Diego in California. And then we have this wonderful scolecite sphere and this little Brazilian quartz here. And I just feel this has tons of watery energy. I know it has the feather for air, and elk is a very grounded animal, but mixed in with that, there is a ton of watery energy. I thought that'd be really good to use for our water signs today. And James and I both agree that this is a wonderful wand to use for drawing down the moon, but we only have one of them. We only created one of these, and this is actually in our Desert Cauldron shop. And yes, all of the items here, you know, such as the bone, the little mollusk here, and the leather, everything is ethically obtained. We want to make sure that there is harm to none in our practice, and especially in the things that we offer. So we're going to be using this to call in the 4 elements. So we'll be starting at the north, which is off to my right. Calling in the element of the north to help us to cast our circle today. Calling in the elements of the east to help us to cast our circle today. Calling in the elements of the south to help us to cast our circle today. Calling in the elementals of the west to help us to cast our circle today. Our circle is cast, let our work begin, and so it is. Heck yeah! All right, and on that, let's bring in a little bit of sound. So I'm going to use my little Tibetan singing bowl that is attuned to the heart chakra, and let's clear up this space auditorily. All right, I love that sound. All right, so nice and clearing. All right, you guys, so I have some things cooked up for us. We'll take a look into the general monthly reading for all of the water signs, and then we're going to go specifically into each of the water signs to get a more elaborate view of what October has in store for Cancer, for Scorpio, and for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. After that, we'll take a look into some opportunities and some blocks that you may have coming up for the month, and if there are blocks, then how can we overcome them, or how can we transmute them. Then, for everybody who's physically in the chat today, we will have a viewer's choice poll. So I have 2 questions that I came up with, and you guys get to vote on the question you would like me to pull a card for the month. After that, we'll go into a healing, we'll close up the circle, and I will do my gratitudes. All right, so if you guys want to sling some cards along with us, or let us know any downloads that you're getting, that would be more than wonderful if you would share that, because that's why I love doing these live chats. It is community, it is a time for us to share, to come together, and I think it just creates a more rich type experience and reading experience as well. So a lot of the messages that maybe you gather, or that you gather from the cards that maybe I don't get, I think that that really helps people who later on are watching the chat, or who are physically in the chat, and maybe something that you come up with. I'm sorry, the phone was ringing. That was actually my best friend, who I have to call back pretty soon. Okay, so the decks that I'm going to be utilizing, I have my Wally's World Oracle, and if you guys are interested in this, I have the link for it down below. I also have a Tarot of the Haunted House, and I decided to choose things that were a little bit more, Halloween, a little bit more Samhain. You know, I thought, you know, it'd just be nice for October. I have my witch's runes here that I'm going to be busting out. And I have the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck. And lastly, I'm going to be using the Witch's Kitchen Oracle cards. Misha, how are you? Hello, hello. Okay, so let me get everything situated here. Okay, all right. So with my Wally's World, I like to pull the theme card for the month. And if you don't know who Wally is my little puma, my little Siamese who lives in California with his dad and his adopted brother, Loki, who is a little panther. But anyway, so this deck was created with him in mind. He actually kind of helped me create this deck. So he is kind of hidden within each card. It's more like a find a where's Wally. But anyway, he's your little guide to help you as you kind of go into each of these images, which are a mixture of images that places that I have been that I feel are very spiritually important to me, but also places from the community where you guys feel that you find much healing from these different sites. So they are sacred sites to us personally, and they've been placed within the deck. So anyway, with that in mind, let's go ahead and shuffle these up. And let's take a look at what October has in store as far as the theme goes for all of our water signs out there. And by the way, I am a Scorpio rising. I have a ton of Cancer in my chart, kind of like a planetary wise. I have another Scorpio placement somewhere else in the chart. I think it's around Pluto. And then James over there he's got 2 water placements actually. So he is a Scorpio sun and he is a Pisces moon. So, all right. So we got some water going on in this apartment. And soon the water will be going on up into the mountains where there used to be water. Okay, so it looks like we got our card. And what do we got here? Ooh, we have the Vaticanas. So we have the Vaticans. This is a picture that was actually taken by me when I was in Italy. So this is actually in Rome, but I was in Viterbo, which is where I was actually doing some opera singing. So I thought, why not go visit the Vatican while I'm in Rome? Grun Oila, hey, this is Wally's World is my top 10 of all time. I recommend strongly. Nice, thank you, thank you. I'm so glad you're enjoying this deck. It's definitely, well, you know, I mean, it is the deck that I created, but I still use it for all of my readings. All of my readings has to have my Wally's World in it. So anyway, so let me dive into this. And if you're wondering where Wally is in this picture, he's actually on the steps of the Vatican. So he's right there. Okay, so let me dive into this and see what this means for water signs, for the theme for October 2022. So let me just go into this. Okay, water signs, are you ready for October? So, I know that we all come from different parts of the world. We all got different things going on in our lives, but the theme is what's going to bring us all together. So it's the theme of the crumbling of old structures, of old paradigms, of old ways of being, of old ways of thinking. And so a lot of things are going to be coming up for us in October in terms of things that will test us, things that will irk our egos or trigger our egos. A lot of our shadows will be coming up. And this is not a punishment. This isn't like, oh my gosh, oh no, I don't want all of, I know that the ego would probably not want all of those things to be coming up for us, but the higher self does, because the higher self knows what you are capable of and who you truly are. Your programming is not who you are. What people tell you you are is not who you are. It is your higher self. It is an inner knowing. It is going into the heart space. And the way that we can hear our highest self clearly, and the way that we can operate from our best and highest good more easily is when we bring down all of the things that tell us who we are, but isn't really who we are. Really, all of those things that tell us who we are is really just the outside influence or the outside world, society, family, whatever, placing who they are upon us, and we are not them. I mean, there is a collective consciousness, and at our spiritual core, we're all one, but our egos, that's the ego. They're trying to place the ego upon us, and that just won't do when it comes to spiritual advancement and growing as a human being. So do expect that a lot of your shadows are going to be coming up. A lot of things are going to get triggered. But it's time to finally bring down all of those things that people said, oh, this is how you have to be, this is how you have to do things. And maybe it wasn't a physical people saying X, Y, and Z to you, but you watched these things growing up as a child. You know, your mother, your father, your aunts, your uncles, grandma, grandpa, teachers, your friends in school, friends in the neighborhood, watching your friends' parents, all of that contributed to how we saw our world, how we shaped ourselves, and how we viewed ourselves within the world. And it's time for that to change, because our world has changed since the 60s, since the 70s, some of us since the 50s, since the 80s, you know, and it's time for us to get ready for the next era. So big stuff coming up for water signs. Woo! You guys ready? You guys got this. It's not scary. You guys got this. All right. Let's see. Grun Oila says, feels like structure and elevated emotions. See what happened there? Pickle junks. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. So, and also looking at the structure that we have placed within our lives as well, you know, that, oh, I always have to do this and I always have to do that. And that's the way I always react to things, you know, of that nature. That's the way I always, it's time to reevaluate those things, look into those things. And actually, today's Mayan date is 12 Ak, and I was actually mentioning that in the kind of, I guess it's like a message, a long post message, like a little blog that I do for my patrons, and I do it once a week for them. And I was talking about today, like, Ak is about spiritual law and order, and it's how we govern ourselves, spiritually speaking, and the laws of the spiritual world, you know, as opposed to the laws of the matrix and the 3D world. And the number 12 asks us to be reflective. And so when we reflect upon our actions, our thoughts, our words, our choices, we have to take responsibility for all of the actions that we've taken in the past, all the actions that we take in the present, all the actions that we will take. And I know that sometimes a lot of the things that we've done in the past, maybe we aren't proud of, and so we don't want to take responsibility for those things. But it's best that we do, so that we can heal those things, release those things, and we can be more fully in the present. And then when we take responsibility, we also take our power back. So when we take our power back, that's when we say, I choose what goes on in my world. I choose where I go next, instead of saying, oh no, it's you know, it's not up to me. You know, you want to give it away. And actually, I also did a post on Instagram about this. So this kind of theme is coming up big time. All right, so let's bust out the Haunted House Tarot here, or Tarot of the Haunted House, by Sasha Graham. And the artist is Mirko Piraferici. And let's go ahead and take this out, and let's slang a few cards and see if we can get a little bit more insight on what we had going on with this theme card here. So if you guys want to see, these are the backs here, and these are the cards. Just, dude, I love this deck so much. It doesn't even have to be like fall or the Samhain season. Like, I just love this deck anyway. But I figured, technically, it's sort of Halloween-y, Samhain. So, okay, so let's pull a few cards here. And like I said, if you guys want to pull some cards along with me, that would be fantabulous. Or again, just maybe your impressions of the cards that I show you. Let us know any inklings you're getting, any downloads. Okay, So I have these face down, so let's turn them over one by one. All right, so first we have the High Priestess. Check out that High Priestess there. All right, so first major arcana. And then we have the Knight of Cups. All right, so we have a little court card there. And oh, okay. So, oops, I'm sorry, I had my, that's not my knight. That is my page. So that's my Page of Cups. This is the Knight. So this is the Knight of Swords. So we have two court cards. Interesting. So we have a major and we have two court cards. And then we have the Six of Pentacles. All right. So first and foremost, what I like to do is just, without any intuition, just take a look at the cards and see if there's anything that's standing out, like repeating wise or any repeating numbers, things like that. So, so I do want to mention that there's one major, two court cards, and then we have one minor arcana. It doesn't look like we have any repeating numbers. But as far as the elements, we have cups, we have swords, we have pentacles. So we're lacking fire. So passion, wands, all of that. So maybe take that into account for the reading as well. Okay, so I'm going to go inwards and kind of translate these messages for you guys. All right, so here we go. Okay, so far what I'm getting is that High Priestess card that we got, that we are the High Priestess, each and every one of us, for the month of October and beyond. So it's not really just confined to one month. It's more energy, and you know, energy is a little bit amorphous. So it's a little bit this month, a lot of October, and then going on, you know, into November as well. But for us to try and embrace that High Priestess energy, because we are the High Priestess. Now, the High Priestess oftentimes is seen as someone who is very wise. They got a lot of spiritual information, but that's because they are a perpetual student. They're always learning. They're always open to new things. And oftentimes with learning, there's some pain that's attached to that. And not pain as in anybody's trying to hurt you, but when we're on a learning journey, we want to question things that we've previously learned. We don't want anything to be set in stone, right? So when something comes along and challenges things that we've previously learned, and maybe we've inadvertently turned some of those things that we've learned into core beliefs, which are pretty hard to change, that's what triggers some things, and that's where some of that pain comes from, because now your ego self is seeing something that is questioning what believes to be true. And when our truths are questioned, things start to feel like it's on rocky ground, like, whoa, wait a minute, wait, how can that possibly be true, you know? And so then we have to start questioning so many other things, because, you know, one truth isn't an island of itself. You know, it's connected to a variety of things, like a spider web. So if one thing is true, then this must also be true, and then this is also true, and this is also true. So it tends to feel like a great upheaval. But from that great upheaval, underneath that is this river of gold that I see, this new understanding. And with that new understanding comes more clarity, and a greater way of moving forward. So I get that with the Six of Pentacles that I showed you in that in the last card that we pulled, is that this is kind of an offering that's being given to us, like, here, you know, all these things coming your way, whether they feel like hardships, difficulties, you know, a lot of triggers being activated, a lot of shadows coming up, again, is not a punishment. The world is not trying to hurt you. The people around you are not trying to hurt you. Your own mind, you know, whatever it's telling you internally, it's all there for a healing purpose, you know. So instead of playing the victim, you might want to say, whoa, I'm going to take my power here, you know. Instead of giving away my power as a victim, I'm going to take back my power and say, why am I feeling so angry at this moment? Why am I feeling the emotion of sadness, or whatever emotion it is that you're feeling? Feel into it. Let it tell you what it's trying to say. You know, when, back when we were humans without language, the only language we did have were our emotions. And that's how we communicated with one another, and that's how we communicated with ourselves, along with our emotions were a form of communication. And so good at translating what our emotions were trying to tell us, and translating what our emotions were trying to tell us, and translating the emotions of others, and that's how we communicate. Well, nowadays, our society now would have us turn off those emotions, which are our source of language, and discard them as if they were not worth anything. Well, now we want to bring those emotions back. We want to translate them so that we can understand what is going on, so that we can heal, so that again we can elevate, we can ascend, we can move forward. So that's what I was getting with the Six of Pentacles. Now with the Page of Cups and with the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Swords I see as our ego kind of going a little cray-cray with the sword there, like, whoa, wait a minute, how dare you challenge my beliefs? How dare you, da-da-da-da. So there's probably going to be a little pushback at first. We may lash out at people unintentionally, and it's really not us being mad at them, but being mad at what's being brought up for us. And we need to also recognize that. So if that happens, just make sure that you apologize later on, and maybe make sure that you communicate clearly what is happening, and so you can have that open communication with those people that you love around you. With the Page of Cups, I do feel like this is kind of the starting of trying to understand some of those emotions and things that are coming up for you, because we may have been suppressing a lot of those emotions, and a lot of what our body has been trying to tell us, what our higher self has been trying to tell us for quite a long time. And it doesn't matter how old you are now. Healing is healing, and the present is the only thing that matters. So if it's in the present where you're finally learning a lesson, or you're finally healing something, then that's perfect. It was meant to be at this time. So no need to worry about, oh, I wish I would have done something in the past, or maybe this is something that I can't do until the future. You know what? Let's work on it in the present. And so that's what I'm getting for the month of October for all of our water signs out there, is that it is our chance to embrace that High Priestess. But with it is it's a little bit of hard work, but you guys can do it. You are powerful, you are manifestors, you are amazing, and you only get even more amazing when you go through things like these. All right. Let's see, let's go back up here. Okay, so Grown Oila said perseverance and persistence. Sherrybug, hey, how are you? Sherrybug says, it sure has been. How you doing, Groon? Green Owl is surviving and a little thriving. Let's see, any more tests on the horizon? And Sherrybug is talking about relationship tests. Okay. So let's see. Let's go into a little look into each of the individual zodiacs. So we have our Cancer, we have Pisces, and we have Scorpio. And actually, you know what? Let's start off with Cancer. So do I have any Cancers in the house? Sun, Moon, Rising. Maybe you have Cancer in another placement. I do. I have Cancer in Mars. I have Gemini in Mercury. And I think I have Cancer in Venus, and Cancer in one other placement. And yeah, so I think I have 3 Cancer placements. But anyway, okay, so Misha is a Cancer rising. Okay, excelente. Let's go ahead and shake these up and see what's in store specifically for Cancers as it pertains to the theme that we just talked about, and the kind of like overall general read for all of the water signs. And I got a little eyelash there. Okay, there we go. Okay, so Cancer, what do we got? All right. So we have like the bowline, the knife to kind of cut our herbs. So let's take a look into what this means for Cancer. All right, Cancers. And like I said, I also have it, you know, in various placements in my planets as well. But the first thing that came to mind was no need to cut the head off your friends. So it's more of like a biting spirit. So sometimes when our things are triggered, our shadows are triggered, and things come up, we often want to shoot the messenger. I mean, at first, you know, totally, our ego solely believes that where our anger should be pointed towards is towards the thing or the person that made us angry, right? So let's say you're having a conversation with your friend and things get heated and your friend says something totally just triggers you, and then you want to bite the head off your friend. You know, it's like, you know, all of a sudden you're saying really nasty things to your friend and you want to make your friend hurt as much as you feel that your friend has hurt you. Now that's the ego lashing out. Of course, our higher self would never do that to our best friend, and it doesn't have to be our friend. You know, I'm just saying. You know, for instance. So what this rune is having you do is, if something like that happens, let's say somebody says something or somebody does something. You know, maybe they're on television. Maybe it happens while you're at Home Depot. I don't know. Maybe it does happen with your best friend, or maybe it happens with your sister or something like that. Instead of going with the first thing you're going to want to do, which is to lash out and maybe say some really nasty things that later on you might regret, you know, just because you're hurt, you're trying to push that hurt off. Like sometimes it hurts so much we don't want to feel that hurt, so I would rather push it off, maybe make someone else hurt, and maybe that will make me feel good. Well, that doesn't really ever work. You know, the ego always, for some reason, thinks that works. That doesn't work. You know, we may have like 30 seconds of, I feel better, and then we go back to feeling like crap, because, you know, just pushing off negativity like that is just not going to help. Instead, you might want to take a little breather of like, ooh, that stung. I'm gonna just, okay. And instead of, how dare that say that to me, it's okay. Why is what that person just said, why does it hurt me so bad right now? You know, and so this is going to take a lot of self-restraint and a lot of biting your tongue in the moment. Or maybe you just walk away so that you have time to breathe, so you have time to think clearly, and so you have time to process that emotion. So if that emotion was extreme anger, where's that anger coming from? If somebody says, I don't know, it maybe, what example? The example that came to mind is if somebody looked at you, maybe it's like, let's say it's your dad. Your dad looks at you and says, oh man, you look like you need to work out a little bit more. Maybe the initial instinct is well, let me tell you. But instead of doing that, it's a, maybe leave the room and try to think about, okay, where is this person coming from? First of all, did they say it because they were actually trying to hurt me? Did they say it because they actually care about my health? And also, why am I so upset? What is this actually triggering? Is it because I feel I do need to start taking better care of myself and I don't want to hear somebody else tell me that I have to? Is it that I have shadows around taking care of myself, or what I believe taking care of myself should look like? You know, is it a societal thing? So then we start looking into those things instead of going into an all-out rage, yelling at your father, telling your father maybe he needs to lose a few lbs or whatever, you know. And instead of going into this like hurt cycle, it's just time to stop, breathe. Why am I feeling this way? Perhaps walk away for a little bit, and then come back when you're a lot more clear-headed and you can have a conversation about it. And maybe through that conversation, you can even find more insight and healing for yourself, and perhaps even for the other person as well. So again, for Cancer, this is just about pause before you may do some things you might regret in October, or say some things that you may regret. Okay. So let's see, let's go back here. Sherrybug says, girl, your shirt is so 80s, you like that? It's rad. Misha says, or ex-boyfriend that randomly messaged me tonight. He's probably drunk. Oh, wow. Grun Oila says, Gary New is so rad too. Yes. Sherrybug says, gotta love ex-BFs deciding to show up and dredge up old feelings. Misha's like, well, I was nice enough to send him a video of his cat he abandoned with me. It's okay, I love the cat, but I hope it ends there. Yeah. Green Owl says, as the Six of Pence too hurts. Yeah. Sherrybug's like, F off, man. Don't want to work out more. Is it because I'd rather eat Cheetos and ice cream than work out? Cheetos and ice cream. You know, I don't think I've ever had those two together, but I'm willing to try. Wow. You know what? Actually, I'm trying to think. I mean, you guys know, like, especially like back when I was coaching my athletes, like I was in super shape, you know, like always like working out. I went to the gym every single day, and I would say I was probably in no better shape. You know, I was pretty good. And so one day I'm like at my dad and my stepmom's, and my dad, he looks at me and he's like, "Are you putting on weight, girl?" And I'm like looking down. I was like, "Papa, I have a six-pack." And he's like, but have you seen my six-pack? And it's just like, you know, and then I just stopped myself, because you know what, that's just how my dad and some part of my family operates, is they're always in competition and they always need to like one up you on things. So I could have gotten into a huge argument about like, how dare you tell me I've been putting on weight, I've been working on it. Instead I was like, okay, my dad's just trying to show off, whatevs. Oh my goodness. Angela, hey, how are you? Sherrybug's like, I'm in a very odd mood. You know what? Me too. Hence the rad shirt. Green Owl is like, ooh, hot Cheetos and fried ice cream. Fried ice cream, dude. I love me some fried ice cream. Angela says, yours is in the fridge, would have been my response. Nice. Sherrybug's like, oh no, hot Cheetos, fried ice cream? Stop. Okay, let's see. Let's look at Pisces. Do we have any Pisces in the house? So I don't have any Pisces placement, I believe, at all, anywhere in my natal chart. But like I said, you know, James is a Pisces moon, so hey. All right, so Pisces. Oh, and actually, you know what? One of my favorite, well, I don't want to say one of my aunties, I'm afraid if I say favorite auntie, none of my aunties don't watch these live chats. So I don't want to hurt anybody, like any of my aunt's feelings. But anyway, one of them is my favorite auntie. Anywho, so she's a Pisces. Okay, so let's see. Let's see, Sherrybug's like Pisces, guilty. Michelle is a Pisces moon. All right, so let's pull a rune for Pisces. We have, oh, you know what's interesting is I think I pulled this rune in the second position last night when I was reading for the fire signs. So that's interesting. So anyway, these are birds, and this represents movement. So let's dive into, and then I'm thinking of Pisces, I'm thinking of swimming fishy, you know, movement. Anyway. That wasn't my intuition talking, by the way. So let's look into what movement means for Pisces. Okay. So yeah, okay. Dory from Finding Nemo did pop into my head. The just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. And actually, that's what I feel the message is for Pisces for October, is, you know, with all of these shadows and all of these triggers that are coming up from various areas, from the cashier at the grocery store to our best friends to, you know, sister, brother, father, oh, whatever. Maybe even the dog might look at you wrong and you're like, hey, don't look at me that way. What are you trying to say? It's about not, it's about taking a look at you know, as those shadows come up for you, how you would have reacted in the past and how you choose to react now in the present. You don't need to react, think, say, or do as you did in the past, because as I, you know, have to remind myself, and also as James reminds me over and over, we are continually creating ourselves in our present moment. We create our world in our present moment. It doesn't matter who you were 2 seconds ago. In fact, I am not who I am at the very beginning of this chat. If I want to decide I want to, you know, do something completely different, I could right now in this very moment, and so can you. And so when these triggers and these shadows come back up for us, also it's a time of reflection, kind of like today with that 12 Ak energy in Mayan astrology, for us to reflect on how we would have reacted in the past. And we would have reacted a particular way because we didn't have the tools back then that we do now. But now you have these tools, and you have the tool of perspective and higher perspective. So now it's like, okay, I caught myself. In the past, I probably would have slapped a fool. I probably would have moistened my knuckles with their eye juice, but I'm not going to do that in the present, because you know what? I found out that only hurts the other person and it hurts me. It solves nothing, and it creates nothing but grief and misery and more shadows to deal with and heal later on. And now I've given shadows to the other person to deal with and heal. So this doesn't solve anything, and I know that now. I didn't know that back then. I can forgive myself for what I did back then, or you know what the other person had did with me, because we were at a different place. We had different learning goals back then. I have more tools now. I have a better perspective now, and now I know I'm not going to do that. Would I like to? Of course, maybe the inclination is still there, but now I know that's not the best course of action. Instead, I'm going to work on healing instead, so that trigger is no longer triggered ever again. So it's the just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep going. All right, so Pisces, no more moistening your knuckles with people's eye juice, okay? Oh, you know what? And I can't take credit for coming up with that saying. That was actually one of my friends in college. She was my roommate, but she also ran track with me. And she used to walk around saying that all the time. And anytime like anybody would like piss her off, like her eye would start twitching. And she's like, I'm going to moisten my knuckles with their eye juice. And I was like, you're so violent, Jessica. Like, don't you go to church every Sunday? You're very violent for a church-going person. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Angela said, Pisces, 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 in the sea of swimming all around, big hearts, all smiles when they want to frown. Pisces, Pisces, in the sea. Oh. And Sharebug's like, Dory, she's a smart little fish. And Green Owl said, in Excel, the formula equals NOW. Yes, now. Angela said, I'm stuck. Do I use Indigo, Angels, Oracle tonight, or Victoria Francis? Do I go light, or do I go shadow side of the spectrum today? You know what? We're in the water signs. I say we go shadow. Let's go shadow, girl. Sharebug said, that is so pertinent that I can't even say. All right, so just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. All right, let's pull then for Scorpios. I don't want to say I saved the best for last, but anywho, so I'm a Scorpio rising. James is a Scorpio sun. You know, I now know a few Scorpios, but like as of maybe a year ago, year and a half, 2 years ago, I knew no Scorpios. So that's interesting. All right, so Green Owl is a Scorpio sun. Excellent. Okay. Alrighty, Scorpio, what do we got? We have the rune of the crossroads. We have the rune of the crossroads. Okay, that went to a different song, but anybody get that 90s song? Anywho, so little crossroads for our Scorpios. So let's dive into this. And actually, dude, I pulled crossroads yesterday as well. So I pulled these two runes yesterday. That's interesting. I just want to say. Angela said, whoa, Scorpios, what are you in? I started the shuffling and the deck filled my hand so dang much I had to put it down for a second. And Green Owl's like, I'm in an ocean of eternal darkness. Dude. And Sumi's like, Papa Legba. Yes. Actually, you know what, Angela, as you were talking about like the cards tickling your palm, the last day that we were up at the property, I got, it's still there, but I got a mosquito bite on my freaking palm, and it kind of still itches. And I'm just like, what kind of a-hole mosquito bites you on your palm, like anywhere else but the palm of my hand? And it's my feminine side too. Like, why? I know it's probably trying to tell me something. Anywho, so let's dive into Scorpio here. Whoa. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to describe the vision that I got. So I'm just imagining a person. Doesn't, you know, how the person looks doesn't mean anything. It's a person standing in the middle of a literal crossroad. And at each of the 4 points surrounding this person is their 4 selves. And so the self that they are facing, the first thing I see is this like kind of like dark circles under the eyes, gray skinned, kind of horrible, I don't know, aged version of the person that's standing in the crossroads. And what I saw that to represent is the side of ourselves that says some pretty nasty, horrific things. It's the side of ourselves that wants to sabotage. It's the side that wants to wallow in self-pity and wants to wallow in that darkness of ourselves, wants us to wallow in that shadow and the blame game. You know, it's just that one aspect that pops its head up maybe sometimes for, you know, maybe not for all of us, but maybe for some of us every once in a while, wants to play the blame game. You know, I am where I am in life because of this person or that person, or, you know, this situation in my life, which again, this aspect of ourselves is just an ego aspect. Of course, it is not a higher self aspect. And that's probably why it looks the way it looks. It's representing the kind of, you know, when we follow that path, that it just breaks us down. You know, it doesn't heal us in any sort of way. You know, everything looks ragged, everything looks gray, everything looks awful, you know, and it's because we don't heal from those types of thoughts. We don't heal from pushing away our power all the time and saying, you know, oh, woe is me and I can't do this and I can't, you know. And of course we feel that from time to time, but we probably shouldn't live in that energy. You know, maybe we feel that energy and then we go into it, we figure out why we're feeling that energy, we heal it, and then we move on. But in this crossroads, I see us facing 4 aspects of ourselves that are in major need of healing in the month of October, and that being one of the bigger ones. And so when we look at this, the crossroad is a wonderful chance for us to take a look at and take responsibility for our actions and the way we treat ourselves, the way we treat our healing path, and to look at each of these things not with hate, even with that raggedy, gray, dark circled thing that's standing in front of this person. We have to show that thing love, because we don't want to feed into its darkness. Look what it's doing to it. It's making it look awful, you know. So we want to show that love. I'm sorry that from time to time I want to beat myself up. I'm sorry that from time to time I say some really awful things to myself. And you know what? I'm going to forgive myself because I'm only human, and I promise that I'm going to work on the things that brings up those nasty words, those nasty thoughts, because I don't want to do that to myself anymore, because I have more respect for myself and I have more self-love for myself than that. And that's how you show that part of you healing. And so this would be a really good time, actually maybe a visualization for our Scorpios out there, is when next time you go into meditation, imagine yourself standing in the middle of a crossroad. And I think there's a reason why I'm being blocked. It just kind of looks like shadow for the other 3 versions, because really it's up to you guys to stand in that crossroad and take a look at each of those 4 corners. what am I seeing here? What is an aspect of myself that is in major need of healing? Show love to that, work through it. And maybe you want to work on only one aspect, you know, during the month of October. Maybe you want to work on all four. But this is healing. It's not meant as any sort of punishment or, you know, putting yourself down. It's just a wow. So these are aspects of myself. And if that's true and I don't like how they look, then I'm going to have to show these things love, and I'm going to have to show these things healing. So this is just something that kind of came up with this download, is that it would be really beneficial for our Scorpios out there if you would do this visualization in your meditation. Really take a look at the 4 aspects of yourself that are in mega need of love. That's what they really are. They're just in need of love because they're scared, they're confused, they're in fear, and they just, you know, they just need a hug. A hug and some healing. All right. Let's see. Let's go back up here. Michelle's like, yes, I know the song. Angela's like, warm up a spoon in the tap water and hold it to the bite for 30 seconds. You know what? I'm going to do that. I will warm up a spoon in some tap water. 30 seconds. Gotcha. I'll do it. It says, may have to repeat that twice, but the itching stuff in the mosquito bites is heat soluble. Oh, well, that is also good to know. Okay. Alrighty. Because I think I'm like a little bit allergic to mosquito bites because they end up turning into welts on me. Other people are like, they're like little teeny little pimples and they go away. Not me. I get welts and they last like a week. Let's see. And then Michelle said, good to know. Yes, that is good to know. Definitely. This is, Angela's like, okay, got them. These cards have no names. They have numbers. I'll just describe and tell you the numbers. First is number 27 reversed. I've nicknamed the characters on the card Milady. And the idiot Milady is a vampire with silver hair grinning back toward the reader, while the idiot dressed as the Lord and a gold mask as a powder wig is sauntering over thinking this will go like any other encounter. Feels like her message is one of 2 ways depending on the side of the situation you're on. And Green Owl said, red t-shirt child, naked, strapped in a pool, floating, not walking version. Interesting. Interesting. These are some good insights, you guys. I love it. I love it. Keep sharing. This is amazing. All right. Let's see. Let's go into, while you guys are still going through your messages and downloads because they're really awesome, I'm also going to go into an opportunity and a block that you may encounter. Green Owl's like, I bought silver hair dye today. Hey! You know what? Speaking of silver, it's not really silver, it's white, but yeah, I'm flaunting my little streak today. All right. I have the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle here, and for that, I will pull our opportunity and our block. Angela said, one side feels like you aren't seeing a toxic energy, or you think you're the weaker one, or are afraid to bare your teeth in the situation. Ooh. Rocky Mountain Oracle, hey, how are you? Oh man, the cards just like scraped my mosquito bite. All right, let's take a look at an opportunity and then a block for our water signs for October 2022, baby. All right, got an opportunity. Let's take a look at a little, whoa, cards were gonna get crazy there, a little block ski. Okay, all right, there's our block. Okay, I would like to look at the blockages first, so that we can look at how to overcome them, how to transmute them, and then we'll take a look at our opportunities, because I think once we go through the blocks, then we get some opportunities. Okay, so for the blocks, we have expectations. Don't seek anyone's approval. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Doesn't that just trigger one of my shadows? Okay, so let's dive into this one. A blockage for October. Okay, so actually, as I said, it's one of my shadows. I think this is many of people's shadows coming up. So, with that theme of old paradigms, things just crumbling down, our uh, old programming, things like that, so that we can make way for a brighter version of ourselves. It is still ourself. It's just a more knowledgeable, brighter version. And one of those shadows is operating in a way that maybe even consciously you don't know that you're operating in, which is a way to seek the approval of others or feel like you fly under the radar, that you fit in, that you don't ruffle people's feathers, that I don't want to rock the boat, I don't want to upset people, so I always act in a particular way, or I always act in a particular way when conversing with strangers, or when saying things, because I don't want people to get mad at me, type energy. And so with this old programming, this is definitely something that needs to crumble, because there's a difference between, not wanting to, I want people to like me, and being mean to people. Like there is a big difference. Some people get confused between the difference. So let's say you are at a party. I don't know. I'm just thinking of a social situation. You're at a party. It's a mixture of people that you know and a mixture of people that you don't know. And somebody brings up, I don't know, some political topic or something. I don't know, whatever's. And they're going off on a tangent, and other people are agreeing. And oh yeah, you're so right, dude. This person or whatever, I totally don't believe in whatever it is that they're doing politically or in the government. And you're sitting there, and in your mind, you have a completely different point of view. This doesn't go along your belief system at all. But instead, you just nod your head, and every now and then, oh yeah, you're so right, instead of voicing your opinion. Now, you could remain quiet and decide to exit the conversation, but let's say the conversation is steered towards you, and they say, I mean, don't you agree with me? And you have the option to say, oh, yes, I totally agree with you. Just because you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, I don't want to get into an argument, I don't want to get into a confrontation. But think about it. You are giving respect to those people, and you respect them for their beliefs. You would never try to, push your own beliefs onto them, but you shouldn't also allow them to push their beliefs onto you. You should afford yourself the same respect. So as you have allowed them to speak, you have allowed them to speak their mind and their positions, and you can even find some validity in what they're saying, and you've acknowledged that. You may also want to voice your opinion, and expect that same respect in return. And if now they come down on you because that your point of view doesn't match their point of view, then that says more about them. That says more about their shadows than it does about yours, because all you've done is offered them what they've offered you, a point of view, an opinion, and that's all it is. And so I think sometimes that's a fear of many people, is that I don't want people to get mad at me. And well, you know what? Sometimes we make people mad, and it's not our fault. We're just being our authentic selves. And you know what? Through triggering other people's shadows in that way, done respectfully, is a way for them to grow and maybe rethink some of their things. And maybe they don't agree with you, but it gives them a chance to ponder and a chance to think, and that's how people grow. When people work out in the gym, they don't grow from sitting around. They grow muscles by putting time under tension, by putting the muscle under stress. So same thing when we're voicing our opinions, or we're in groups of with other people, or whatever it may be. Sometimes the stress is just you being your authentic self, and that's how we help each other to grow. So one of these blockages may be that you're not living fully to who you are. You're not expressing who you are, and it doesn't mean that everybody needs to agree with you, but you should be allowed to express yourself freely. All right. So, okay. Ooh, some big messages, water signs. Like, what? Let's see. Let's go back here. Oh, okay. Let's see. Angela said the other side is you already see through their game. They tried and got metaphorically, maybe even karmically bit, and you've walked away laughing. And next is 22. I've nicknamed her Emily. Don't know why. I felt she's another vampire-like entity. She's holding a bloodied rose and has blood on her clothes, but also on her lips. Like she got in a scuffle, but she's standing in the arch of a church. Definitely this deck is very in your face and darkly beautiful. It's the shadowiest of my shadow decks. I've given it each a nickname since they have no words. Rose doesn't feel like she's eaten in, feels like she ties in with Milady's card, and again, depending which side you're on. If you don't act and put your foot down, it'll get harder to say it down the road and harder to get out of whatever energy you're in. And Green Owl was saying that 22 equals 4, 27 equals 9, 2 squared and 3 squared, and what other numbers? Hey, there we go. Angela said on the other side, you walked away laughing, but with a few wounds and a few scrapes. Whether you let them affect you is up to you. 7 is the next card. She's reversed. Alethea, hello. Says, oops, super late. Hey, no worries. Angela said, I refer to her as Madame Silver. She's fae, like being in a bride-like gown that slowly blends into the water. She's holding a tree, appearing to be stuck in the tree, but is actually in full control. And Green Owl said that 7 introverted, resistance to distraction. Wawa does like the deeps, yes. Lisa, hey, says hi, woke up in the middle of the night again. How are things, folks? Things are going great. Welcome, welcome. Oh my goodness. We're happy to have you. Angela said she's inverted, meaning letting go of toxic energies and situations is best for you. And just because you may feel out of control, but you're actually better able to handle either side of the situation than you think. Nice. Nice, dude. I love that. And I love that it's, you know, the numbers and everything. So just for somebody who hates mathematics but loves numerology, I dig it. Angela said 23 is the final number. She's upright. Nickname Demusel. Ooh, Demusel. All right. For me, for the opportunity that's popped up for us, I have Homeward. Take yourself out on a date. Check that out. You know what that looks like to me? That looks like my property. And that James and I are out on a date with the property. That would be excellent. Okay, but let's see what this means for our water signs. Lisa said cheers. Angela said her image is among my favorites. Okay, so let's dive into this. Okay. So, like I said, October is a big month for the water signs, but you know, month, you know, kind of moving into November because energy is amorphous. But with all this crumbling of old programming and old beliefs and stuff, like all these shadows coming up or whatever, as we take time to reflect on the person we were last year, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you know, reflecting on situations maybe that we're not so proud of, situations that we are proud of, we can kind of give ourselves a little pat on the back when certain shadows have repeated themselves, more for our learning purposes, and we are reacting differently this time than we would have in the past. You know, and I mentioned this as I was reading for the individual zodiac signs, you know, for Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. And so when you can consciously see that I am making a different decision this time because now I have different tools in my tool belt and I feel pretty darn good about it this time. You know, this time I was able to go inwards. This time I was able to find the thing that needed healing, and I started working on that instead of lashing out at the person that triggered that shadow, you know, because really the anger wasn't that person. It was the thing that is deep inside that was calling out for healing. And when you can recognize that, I say treat yourself, do something. I mean, of course the treat is healing, but maybe a little extra reward for yourself, saying, you know what, I've done a pretty darn good job. I am on the right path. I'm doing excellent. And I'm going to continue to do things that are heart-based instead of knee-jerk reaction, ego-based. And I will try my best to continue on in that path, so that every time my shadows are triggered, or, you know, anything like that is coming up, I'm going to pause. I'm going to find out what this emotion is trying to tell me. I'm going to heal it. I'm going to move on and continue being my badass self. So heck yeah, you want to do something nice for yourself. You want to take yourself out, you know, maybe as a, hey, congratulations on your next step up moving forward in your healing cycle, in your growth cycle. But you know, some of that taking yourself out, doing something nice for yourself, is the healing portion. It is when you finally recognize those things that have been needing healing for so long, and they've been crying out in versions of anger, sadness, anxiety, fear, depression, negative self-talk. That's the way that it speaks in order to be healed. And now we're finally recognizing it, and it's like, yeah, I'm doing good. I'm going to continue on in this path. So we have a wonderful opportunity for that. All right, yay. Okay, let's see, let's go back here. Green Owl said 5 and 2 are inverse mirrors, a ego tug of war. Dude, October. Angela said she's a beautiful woman surrounded by autumn leaves in a sleeveless gothic themed gown with a skirt and a beautiful mess under her. She has running red makeup and 2 small partially healed wounds over her heart. She's holding part of a skull with symbols on it. One looks like aligned planets. The other symbol looks like the letter F crossed with music notes. It says she isn't looking at the skull, but is hanging onto it. And Green Owl said skull in hand, screaming ego, which makes me also think of Hamlet. Oh, but I did know you. Angela said her hair is also full of pale blooming white spring flowers. The way she feels is, regardless which side you're on, you don't keep holding on to what is dead and gone. Take the lessons, take the good memories, but not all can go with you in transitions. Green Owl's like, yep, Hamlet. All right. Let's see. And before I start going into my Shakespeare nerdy mode. All right. So everybody that's in the chat right now, we are now going into viewer's choice. So this is the part where you guys get to vote on the question that you want me to pull a card on next. All right. So I've come up with 2 questions, and here's how the voting goes. After I read question 1, if you like question 1, and that's the question you want me to pull a card on, vote with a vote with a red heart emoji, or type the words red heart. For question 2, if you like that question, vote with a green heart emoji or type the words green heart. After that, I'm going to add up all the red hearts, all the green hearts, and that's how we choose our winning question. Okay? All right. Angela said you can take your memories either way. The transition should be over and settled sometime along spring, early when the flowers bloom. Nice. I love that. That's beautiful. Okay, so here are the questions, you guys. Question number 1. What is lurking in my shadows? What is lurking in my shadows? And I come up with that because October and, you know. So if you like that question, vote with a red heart or type the words red heart. Question 2. What message do my ancestors have for me? So a message from my ancestors. So if you like that one, vote with a green heart or the words green heart. Okay, so to recap, red heart emoji for what is lurking in my shadows, green heart emoji for a message from my ancestors. All right, let's see. Angela said my typo came up as blood, so I should choose red heart. Okay, so we already have 1 red heart. We're gonna do a little Jeopardy music. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. All right, so it looks like we have some hearts in here. So Angela coming in with a red heart, Rocky Mountain Oracle coming in with a green heart, Green Owl coming in with a red heart, Lisa coming in with a green heart, Michelle coming in with a red heart, and Angela coming in with a red heart. So we are 4-2. Do we have any more votes, you guys? Any more votes? So 4 red hearts to 2 green hearts. 4-2. And I have the Witch's Kitchen Oracle cards for this one. I'll give everybody another moment just in case there's any more votes coming in. And I'll give these a nice shuffle. All right. Let's see here. So, yep, it looks like we're going to be 4-2. 4-2. So, red hearts. You guys got this one. Angela said, I wasn't sure if I still needed to put a heart since I mentioned it. You're good. Alikia says, I didn't want to vote since I just came in. Hey, you know what? It doesn't matter when you came in. You vote anytime. All right. But the red heart is, what is lurking in my shadows? You guys are ready for some shadows. I like it. Let's do this. Let's get dark. All right. What is lurking in my shadows? Let's see. I don't know why I'm thinking of the 7 dwarves, but maybe that means something pertaining to the reading. I don't know. Do we have any like Snow White shadows? I don't know, like old women offering us apples in the middle of the forest while we hang out in a cabin with 7 little men. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. It looks like we have our card. So let's flip it over and let's take a look-ski. Ooh. Salt. Protection. Ooh. Dude. Some of you guys have this shadow big time. All right, I'm gonna go into this one. Maybe it's part of mine too. Anyway, I'll give you guys time to kind of look in the image because these cards always have a lot going on. So we got the cool little kitten back here. There's always something on the cauldron in the back. But we have all these different forms of using salt. We even have a Himalayan salt lamp back there. Okay, so let's tap into this one. What is lurking in my shadows? So I feel like, you know, and this has nothing to do with age. Some of us feel this at 70 years old. Some of us feel this at 18 years old. It doesn't matter. The fact is that it is something that needs healing, and I keep seeing this person, and it's just an image. It's not something that actually happened, but just like the symbolic image, I should say, of like a person just like holding themselves, and they're you know, everything about them is just closed off, and they're looking everywhere there's danger, everywhere there's a situation trying to hurt me, everywhere there's a person to dupe me, they're trying to hurt me, they're trying to cheat me out of something. And so this seems like it is a major shadow, and it tends to filter out in many aspects of our life. So if we have that as a shadow of everybody's always out to get me, everybody's always trying to cheat me, they're trying to hurt me, they're trying to dupe me, I feel very unsafe in my environment. That could stem back to way back, possibly to childhood. Maybe it wasn't your physical like neighborhood that you felt unsafe in, but maybe you felt unsafe in your home. Maybe there was some parental abuse going on where you felt unsafe with a particular parent around. Perhaps you know, it could have been an abuse of any form. Maybe you felt unsafe at school. Maybe there was some sort of bullying going on there. You know, maybe being bullied by your teachers, which is unfortunate, but it does happen. Maybe being bullied by the other classmates. And it could also have been a societal bullying, you know, where people were looking down on you based on, you know, your background or your economic background or your culture or whatever it may have been, causing you now as an adult to look at everything with fear in your eyes, that there's always somebody out there to get me, even though times have changed, people have changed, and possibly you've grown out of that particular neighborhood or you no longer live within that home. but that energy has stayed with you. So that now, when you go into, let's say, romantic relationships, you may be withholding your emotions, your heart a little bit, because you're afraid that that person, for some reason, is going to hurt you. Now, you don't have any proof that this person has reason to hurt you, but there is this mistrust, because it's just inside of you that somebody's always going to try to hurt you, that this person at some point is probably just going to break my heart, they're just going to hurt me, or they're going to cheat on me. Now, we're putting energy of that nature, knowing that we are manifestors. We'll probably end up manifesting that in our relationship, but that doesn't mean that's the intention the person came into the relationship with. Now, it could also move out into our career. We may be afraid to do things that we truly love because, we'll probably just get ridiculed for it, or somebody's just going to hurt me, or, I'm going to get made fun of, kind of like I was when I was in, elementary school, or whatever it may have been. So this is something to take a look at, that, these shadows really do affect every part of our lives, even though it may not seem so. It may seem like, oh, I have this one shadow, and maybe it's just relegated to this one thing, but no, it affects our romantic relationships, or affects our relationships with our friends, with our family, how we view the world, and how we view people in it, how we view our world leaders, and all of that. It definitely colors everything. So it seems like this is a big shadow, this protection, feeling very unsafe with people, mistrust of others, mistrust of situations. And so it's time for that to heal, because in essence, you've placed yourself within a prison, and held yourself prisoner, hoping to keep out the bad people, that may hurt you, instead of vice versa, just staying away from those people, hence putting them in their own prisons, instead of keeping yourself prisoner. And actually, what's interesting is James and I are rewatching Quantum Leap, and we're in season 2 right now of Quantum Leap, and it seems like this message is also similar to a message that I just heard from that TV show. So no, there's no coincidences here. And so in that particular episode, Sam Beckett is this, I don't know, supposed to be like an FBI agent who is helping this woman who's in the witness protection program. And technically he's supposed to be like the bad guy, but Sam's a good guy. So he's able to turn this guy around and like save the woman. But the woman, basically, she was complaining that she's afraid all the time because this gangster, this bad guy, is out to hurt her. And she says she constantly has to change her name, her identity, and she's always in hiding, and she's in fear every morning when she wakes up. Does this man know where I am? Does this man know who I am? And she's saying that it's sad because he's the one that should be in prison, yet I'm the one in prison. And I think that oftentimes that's how we feel when we are very scared of everyone around us, because of what has happened in the past, our past traumas, that we're the one that feels like we're in prison. And we place ourselves in there hoping that we protect ourselves, when really we're just cutting ourselves off from all the wonderful experiences that we can have, and all the healing that we could have, and all our opportunities for growth that are out there for us. So this message comes to us today just for taking a look into that and being gentle with yourself, be kind with yourself, but it's going to take a lot of self-love on your part to offer that olive branch and tell that scared child inside that, you don't have to be scared anymore, and moving forward in that and working on the healing in that. All right, so let's see, let's go back here. I missed a lot of your messages. Angela said, look at that, my Dex sweet side came out. And Green Alice said, ooh, I was working with alchemical salt sigil and albedo today. Interesting. Angela said, the first is 31. Halloween, Samhain, whatever you celebrate or don't will be a good time for you. Wow. The image is a cherub of a small child that's been through a lot and crying a little, like the scary things is over. he's holding on to either a stone tablet or a book that says, love, it has some damage, but the word is easy to read. No matter what you've been through, he says you can choose love. Don't hate yourself for what you did and didn't do. Don't beat yourself up for what you can't change. Focus on love. What you chose is part of who you are, and you can always choose better this next decision, and you can always choose love. Oh, Sumi says, I see a black cat. I tip money. Protection. Oh, thank you, Sumi. So yes, of course, you know me, I gotta have my kitty decks. And if I can find a black kitty deck, I will. Because it reminds me of my Loki. Oh, thank you, thank you. Angela says, I've nicknamed him simply Cherub. Next card is 35, nicknamed Sola. She is a pale fae, being in a dark Victorian gown with dark autumn leaves, paused in a forest, alone, appearing to peek ahead nervously. Oh, and then Sumi pointed out that her cell reads 5G, 55%, so 555. Oh, and you know what? I just looked up, and then she donated $5, so 555. So if the repeating fives have been coming up for anybody, in Mayan numerology, 5 is all about speed. It's all about quickness. So I know that means something else in like Western numerology, which could also mean conflict. But putting the two together, it could be swiftness of conflict if we choose it to be. Let's see. Angela said she's screaming hesitation to be yourself, hesitation for the next step. You could cross your T's and dot your I's and plan from 2022 to 3003, and you'd still never have a plan for every situation and decision. Take a leap of faith, but taking a breath first is okay. If you need to rest and breathe, do it, but don't stay scared and don't quit. Green Owl said, pure love. Angela said the final card is 32, nicknamed Eponine Calico. She's a beautiful woman. She is in a luxurious room, a purple velvet in a fancy black velvet gown, Victorian dress with purple rose in her hair. On her lap and positioned around her are 3 black Persian cats, and she hints at being a vampire with a pale complexion and a small bit of blood on her face, but she shows no teeth. Interesting. And then Sumi showing Lisa some love with some pumpkin love. And Sumi said 555, quickness. I just sent Lisa a shooting star. Hey, there you go. Dude, the synchronicities, it's freaking amazing. All right. So on that note, I want to go into our healing. So I have our Tibetan singing bowl here. I'm going to do kind of like I did last night with the fire sign. So I'll take you through a quick guided meditation, but I mostly want to just do the singing bowl so that you can take that time for yourself to kind of reflect on the things that you wish to work on in October. What are some of the things you want to bring in and some of the things that you want to release? Because as we know, if we want to make space for new things, we got to release some old things. All right, so take the time to think about all the messages that you heard, which one of them actually connected with you, and of those, which ones do you want to bring in or work on in October, and what are you releasing? All right, let's see, Angela said she beckons rewards, protections, abundance, and magic, luxury, possibly assistance from someone who seems not the usual type you're around. This feels like it's someone from a spirit more than a physical person, perhaps an ancestor or a new spirit guide. And Green Owl said, I feel like a vamp after changing my batteries in a Terra chat. The juice is always invigorating. Dude, that happened in the Sunday lab chat this past Sunday, where it's like my battery just like got sucked dry. All right, so let's go ahead and get nice and cozy, you guys. So I'm on a towel on the hardwood floor, but you guys don't have to sit on the hard floor. You can lay down on the bed, you can sit on the couch, you can sit on the chair. All I ask is that you try to sit with your spine as straight as possible. You don't have to be stiff like a soldier, but just be nice and relaxed, but keep your spine nice and straight. I kind of think of that as the tree of life, and we want to make sure that all the energy coming through has a nice clear pathway to enter and exit our body. Angela said, coming in to help, it feels calm, good. It does not feel shifty or like anything is wrong. What you see is what you get. But you need to sit with yourself and know what you want to be. Careful what you ask for, and make sure exactly what is truly what you want. You'll have protection to fall back on, though you should you need 3x3, so mote it be. Excellent. All right, so get nice and cozy, you guys. Go ahead, take a nice deep breath. And if you feel so inclined, go ahead and close your eyes and bring your awareness inward, possibly in towards the heart chakra right here, the doorway to our soul. And let's just start relaxing from the head down. So I want you to, you know what, I'm feeling like a touch, like the sensation of touch a lot, you know. So last night I was feeling like the fire signs needed a little bit of wind to calm down, but for the water signs I'm feeling touch. So let me put this down for a second. I'll show you what I mean. So imagine that somebody, like a good masseuse, maybe your partner or somebody, is giving you a nice little massage to help and relax you. So we want to imagine those hands at the top of our head and just in circular motions, rubbing our scalp nice and slow and just feeling relaxed. And you start to feel those hands moving down into your temples, massaging and relaxing you. And as these hands move around, you feel so relaxed. You just want to melt. So we feel those fingers moving around our cheeks, our jaw. So relaxing, feeling those fingers move around the base of our head, down our neck, relaxing. Feeling those hands move down your shoulders, maybe giving you a nice shoulder rub. Feel those fingers, those hands moving around your scapulae and your back, down to your middle back, down to your lower back. Maybe feel them massaging your sides, massaging the chest perhaps. Moving around into the torso. A nice rub down each of the arms, from your biceps down to your forearms, down to the tips of your fingers. Imagine a nice warm rub down, nice quick little rub down just to get you in a nice relaxed mood. And we feel those fingers moving down our bum and down our legs, around our knees, our calves, aka the gastrocnemius, moving down into the Achilles, our feet, all the way down to your toes. And if you feel like you need a little bit more rubbing, go ahead, allow those magical invisible fingers to continue to rub you down. And when you're ready, I want you to bring your awareness to your breath. And the breath is one of the most powerful things we have. Our breath carries our voice. It takes what's in our mind and releases this out through our mouth and out into the world to create magic. But we can also breathe that magic in, and that's what we're going to do right now. So think about the things that you want to bring in October. What are some of the things that you want to manifest, that you want to create? And I want you to breathe that in, and not just a little breath. I want you to breathe this in deep. I want you to take this into your lungs, into your diaphragm, all the way into the stomach, and fill yourself up till you can't breathe anymore. I want it to fill every cell in your body. I want those things that you want, I want them to become a part of you so that they can happen, so that they can manifest in just the way that you've wished. Okay, so we're going to breathe that in. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And we're going to exhale. all the way out. Empty the tank, belly button to the spine. Okay. And as you inhale again, breathe in that intention, breathe in those things that you want to manifest. And I want you to exhale something that you're ready to let go of so that we can make room for the things that you want. All right, so let's practice that. Let's breathe it in. And breathe out what no longer serves. All right, continue breathing in this cyclical manner. And also, when you are ready, try to ground yourself in the best way that you feel is right for you. And bring down that source energy, let it go right down that spine that you have nice and straight to allow that energy into your body so that you become that nice conduit between the worlds of spirit and the world of the 3D earthly plane. You know, you have this wonderful ability to be this dualistic energy. You're a multi-dimensional being in a 3D body. How awesome is that? You get to be both sky and earth, as above, so below. That is you. And so also keep that visualization in mind while breathing in your intentions, exhaling what you no longer wish to hold on to. You guys, thank you so much for joining me in today's chat for the October reading for 2022 for Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. I totally enjoyed hanging out with you guys this evening. I love these live chats. That's why I do them now for the monthly chats, for the weekly chats, because I think that you guys have some amazing insights. I love when you guys are pulling cards. I love the community here, and it's a lot of fun for me to also share my downloads with you. So let's go back here. Lily said, thank you. You're very welcome. Angela said, wow, that was amazing. The singing bowl sounds like it said, I love you and the vibrations. Yes. Sumi said, I heard elevation for someone in the chat. Yes, and she's got the wonderful red triangle there, elevate, up and up. I love triangles, by the way, which is also why they're in my Wally's World oracles. Right there. My little triangles, and they got the little circles there, but yeah, so thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you, Sumi, for your donation. Thank you for everybody who pulled cards with us, everybody who was chatting along with us, people who are watching, people that are going to be watching the replay. Thank you to everybody who subscribed and everybody that gave this a little thumbs up if you dug it. And if you feel like one of your watery friends could benefit from this live chat, go ahead and share it with them. Green Owl said, I heard elevated earlier on the Wally's World card. Oh yeah, yeah, remember, dude. That's awesome. All right, and let's see, so I also want to thank my YouTube members. So yes, I have a KWT YouTube membership if you guys are interested. I have the link down below. So Susie, Lisa, who came in this evening, Heather, Kayla, thank you guys so much. And of course, all of my lovely homies over on Patreon. So V Love and Crystals, Surian, Brandy, Samara, Kirsten, Kayla, Sarah, Jason, Charles, Brian, Grace, Jamie. Thank all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you have a wonderful October. If you celebrate Samhain, many Samhain blessings to you. I hope that you have a good Halloween. And I know that kind of going on into November, earlier November the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, that's Dia de los Muertos. But however you celebrate the season, however you celebrate October, I hope that you have a beautiful one. All right, you guys, thank you for hanging out with me this evening. Let's see, let's go back here. Lisa said, thanks all, have a fab weekend. Michelle said, thank you. Angela said, thank you, Grun, for the number explanation. Would you guys like me to use Victoria Francis here again sometime? Heck yeah, I love Victoria Francis. Actually, I think I still have that oracle. It says, or are they too much of a dark trip for everyone? I like the dark trip. Green Owl's like, Angela, the dark is home. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and close her up. I have my candle here, so if you guys want to do a little wish, let's make it so. So ready? Make a wish for October. 1, 2, 3. And so it is. All right. And we'll take our little elk wand here and close up our circle. Thanking the elementals of the north for helping us to cast our circle today. Thank you, elementals of the east, for helping me to cast our circle today. Thank you, elementals of the south, for helping us to cast our circle today. And thank you, elementals of the east, for helping us to cast our circle today. Our circle is open, but our circle still remains. As above, so below, as within, so without. Merry meet, merry part, merry we do we meet again. And so it is. All right, you guys, have a lovely evening, or perhaps it's early morning, wherever you live. I hope that you have a great rest of your week. Actually, the weekend. Oh my gosh, the weekend starts tomorrow, which means I have yoga with my friend Annette. What's up? Angela said, it is for me to cupcakes and rainbows are nice, but shadows and sage are needed. All right, I will catch you guys later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out. Bye, guys.